really, to be honest. I mean, look, great from Moses, but just Dillian, the inactivity, the age, it was always going to be too much early on. But look, obviously you got to give big respect to Moses Itauma. He's a brilliant fighter, but it's a bit sad watching Dillian like that.
I've been in for maybe 12 to 14 weeks, and I've ticked every box. So if it wasn't my night to win today, it wasn't going to be my night. But I knew that I'd done everything I could to make this night my night.
It's quite impressive. But what was more impressive, this kid's hand speed was phenomenal. I mean, you know, he's a southpaw, and that makes him dangerous anyway. But he wasn't pouring with his jab. Everything was solid.
Head on the temple. Yeah. And then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad because I didn't want him to go like that.
Explosive and quick. Faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock out the opponent and go home. And
unbelievable, ruthless, short performance. Caught him with good shots and done an absolute job.
Did you expect that?
No. I fancied him to win. I thought he'd stop him, but I didn't think it'd be like that.
Opportunity to hold early. There was an opportunity to take a knee before it got to that. He's got the experience and he didn't utilise none of the stuff.
What Ben was telling me what to do, for the first maybe 2-3 minutes, I saw he was doing exactly what Ben telling me to do, but it's just, you know, the fight nerves, whatnot kicked in. And then after maybe like the first minute, I was like, okay, cool. I keep seeing this happen. I can't miss it. So, yeah, man, executed.
Pro boxers stunned by Moses's first round knockout of Dillian Whyte. Moses looked electric, young, sharp, and devastating. Whitey, slow, rusty, and brutally exposed. Eddie Hearn himself admitted it was disastrous. That KO wasn't just defeat, it was humiliation on the big stage. Eddie practically buried Dillian's career with a smile.
From Dillian, but listen, it's very difficult when you're 38 years old. You've been out of the ring for a couple of years and you've just had that Tete fight, and you fight a brilliant young sharp fighter. We said that, you know, unless he gets into the fight, it's going to be a disastrous start for him, and it was more than a disastrous start.
Would you want to see Dillian retire?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What next for Moses? Because there was talk about Usyk.
I want him to see him in with a live, active heavyweight, you know, because he's definitely good enough.
And Frank Warren didn't just praise Moses. He buried Dillian Whyte in the same breath. He called Moses a fighter of his generation, while Whitey was lying flat like a broken relic after that savage first-round knockout. This wasn't history being made for Whitey. This was a public execution. Moses is climbing towards greatness. Whitey's only climbing onto the canvas.
Seeing history being made with him. I really do feel he's going to be a fighter of his generation and of the. I think in time, he continues to do what he does. He will be up there with all the great heavyweights of all time.
Derek Chisora didn't sugarcoat a thing. He tore Whyte apart for making excuses. He made it crystal clear Moses smashed him fair and square with that temple shot. No ifs or buts. Chisora's honesty stings because he's right. Dillian wasn't beaten by sickness or age. He was destroyed by a sharper, hungrier fighter. While Moses looked explosive and clinical, Whyte was left wobbling and broken before the first round even found its rhythm. That's not bad luck. That's simply being outclassed and outgunned.
This is sad.
I saw a message on Instagram from Sonny Edwards. He said that there was a rumor going around about Dillian Whyte's leg wasn't as good as it was. Had you heard that? Did you see that in the ring?
Mate, we can't make excuses to take away from Moses. Moses done very well. So let's not come up with excuses. If you go in and ring, you're not 100%. Don't give us the bullshit when you lose. Yeah, and that's not if you go in the ring when you're not 100% and then you win and then you want to give us the bullshit, yeah. So, but what I'm gonna say is, yeah, people always say, oh, I was not well, that's why I lost the fight. No, you know, you didn't lost the fight because the younger man that stepped up and then you got caught. The first shot which killed him was a temple shot. He hit him around the temple, grazed him here. He dug down so low that they were not grazing, the grazing is a temple and that was it.
You think he should have been allowed?
Joseph Parker laid it out straight. Moses, at just 20, already looks like the complete package. Speed, movement, power, and IQ, and the proof was in the knockout. Whyte, with all his so-called experience, couldn't last a single round against him. The contrast was brutal. Moses rose as a special talent with every punch, while Whyte crumbled like an old gatekeeper who had no business sharing the ring. This wasn't just hype. Parker confirmed what the knockout already showed, that Moses is levels above.
At 20 years old, he's put on this massive stage, fighting someone like Whyte who has the experience. But if you look at it, Moses ticks all the boxes in terms of speed, movement, ring IQ, probably packs power, you know. He's been knocking on everyone put in front of him, so he's a very special talent, and that's why everyone's excited about him as a fighter.
After flattening Whyte in one round, Moses still showed class, thanking his fans and keeping his feet on the ground. That's the difference between him and Dillian. Moses knocks you out cold and stays humble, while Whyte used to run his mouth and now lies silent on the canvas. At just 20, Moses is already handling pressure, spotlight, and expectations with composure beyond his years. That mix of humility outside the ring and brutality inside it is exactly why he's terrifying for the division. Whyte was just the latest victim, but Moses' mindset shows he's built for much bigger stages.
To my fans, to the people that came out, I'd like to say a big thank you. I appreciate every single person that supported me. I'm always going to be under pressure. Like, I'm 20-year-old doing well, so some people don't like to see me do well, some people do. And I guess I've just got to keep doing me.
And to drive the point home, Dave Coldwell gave his take on why Moses is the most exciting prospect in world boxing. Dave Coldwell nailed it. Moses isn't here to waste time or pad rounds. He's here to destroy. That first-round knockout of Dillian Whyte was the perfect example of banging done. No mercy, no dragging it out for the cameras. Coldwell even crowned him the best prospect in world boxing. And after watching Whyte's body hit the canvas like dead weight, it's hard to argue. Moses is pure excitement, while Whyte has become nothing more than highlights of real material.
Can go when we get something spectacular. You want to see him have questions put in front of him and see, you know, like you say, can they go a few rounds? What happens? Yeah, because there's still those unanswered questions that we've got. Can he carry it on throughout the later rounds? Can his feet stay sharp? Can he, does he retain that sharpness, past 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds? But so far, so good, mate. This is boxing, and you're not in there for all the time. And Moses Itauma certainly doesn't owe us any extra rounds, any extra time in fight. He wants to go out there and get rid of these guys as soon as possible, which is why he is so exciting, and which is why, for me, even before tonight, for me, he's the best prospect in world boxing.
And keeping it real, Lawrence Akoli also weighed in on Moses' explosive performance. Lawrence Akoli summed it up with brutal honesty. Moses looked sharp, explosive, and devastating. While Dillian Whyte looked finished before the bell even rang, everyone could see it in the build-up. Whyte's body language, his shape, and his aura are gone. Moses didn't just beat him, he dismantled him in a way that confirmed every doubt about Whyte's decline. The truth is, Whyte had no business being in that ring with a 20-year-old lion who's hungrier, faster, and sharper. Akoli knew the knockout was inevitable, and he was right. One round, one savage finish, and Whyte was lying there. Another victim to add to Moses's growing highlight reel. This wasn't just a fight. It was a generational clash that showed the gap between old and new. Moses came in with fire in his eyes. Whyte came in with excuses waiting on his tongue. The result was a knockout that no one will forget.
Sharp, very, very explosive, I thought he would get him out of there. As the week went on, seeing the shape of Dillian, hearing everyone talking, but it is what it is.
Lee would praise Moses not just for his physical ability, but for his mentality, the discipline, the maturity, and the willingness to learn. And that's what separates Moses from fighters like Whyte. Dillian never listened, never adjusted, always the same old story. Big talk, sloppy game plan, and eventually getting sparked out. Moses, on the other hand, is a sponge. At just 20, he's already showing the maturity of a seasoned pro, taking instructions, making changes mid-fight, and constantly leveling up. That's terrifying for the heavyweight division. When someone this young has speed, power, IQ, and the humility to grow, it spells doom for the old guard. Whitey had all the experience in the world, but it didn't mean anything when the bell rang. Moses showed levels. He showed he's a new breed. Leewood sees it. The fans saw it, and the knockout just confirmed why. Moses isn't hype. He's the real deal. And he's coming for everyone.
But he's ticking all the boxes, he's not just skillful, he's determined, he's fit, he's fast, he's on the right page with Liam and Ben. You know, they're just unbelievable what they do, but he's on the same page as them. So he knows when they say, oh, like, we want to see more of this next bar, or when we see, we're like this, this was good, and less of this, more of that, he's bang, makes an adjustment straight away, which is, for his age, his maturity level is extremely high.
And then Antonio Tarver took it up a notch, comparing Moses's power to Mike Tyson himself. Antonio Tarver didn't hold back. He compared Moses to a young Mike Tyson. And honestly, after that knockout of YT, who can argue? The raw power, the patience, the cold killer instinct, it's all there. Moses doesn't just throw wild shots. He sets them up with a ring IQ beyond his years. That's why I never stood a chance. Dillian walked in thinking his toughness could carry him through, but one clean temple shot turned him into a ragdoll. Tarver is spot on. Veterans are going to dread fighting Moses. He's not reckless. He's calculated, patient, and lethal. At just 20, he already looks like a nightmare opponent for anyone over 30. And Whitey was the first big name to feel that wrath. The Tyson comparison is heavy, but Moses is earning it knockout by knockout. Whitey was the perfect victim to prove the point. A fading heavyweight who thought experience would save him, but instead became the highlight of Moses's growing Tyson reel.
Expect that? Did you expect that?
Hey, this is a young kid, 20 years old, with devastating knockout power, bro. This have Mike Tyson type of energy all over it, bro. For real. Yeah, he's going to give these tough guys, he's going to give these veterans a hell of a time, bro. He's poised, he's patient, and he got that knockout power. He know how to set it up. It's going to be a nightmare to get rid of this guy, man.
Antonio Tarver delivered the harshest truth. Witta is old and washed and had no chance against Moses. He came in with a plan to land one big punch, but he didn't even get the opportunity. Moses mauled him, plain and simple. The sad reality is Witta has been knocked out too many times. His chin is gone, and his career is hanging by a thread. Tarver's words sting because they're facts. This wasn't some competitive war. It was a one-sided execution. And while Tarver praised Moses for the big win, he also issued a challenge. Keep testing himself against young, hungry fighters, not just faded names like Witta. But let's be real, for Moses, this was the perfect introduction. A big name, a brutal knockout, and a message sent to the division. Witta, meanwhile, is reduced to being the old fighter that young lions look good against. Tarver exposed it perfectly. Moses is the future. Witta is finished.
Being knocked out a couple times, wanted to see could he land a punch on this young kid, but he didn't have a chance tonight. He got molded over, and this is a big win for a young guy. But he got to continue to fight credible opponents, and he got to get tested. He got to fight a young fighter like himself and beat a credible opponent like that. Not these old, washed-up fighters that he can only just look good.
Moses Itauma's first-round demolition of Dillian Whyte wasn't just another knockout. It was a seismic shift in heavyweight boxing. A 20-year-old kid walked into the ring with calm confidence and walked out with Whyte's career on his record, flat on the canvas. The old guard got exposed. The new era just kicked down the door. Fans, pundits, and even legends like Tarver and Warren are already comparing Moses to icons of the past. And the scary part is he's only getting started. Whitey, he's become a cautionary tale, another name on a highlight reel. While Moses is now being talked about as the next face of the division, the question now is simple. Who's brave enough to step in with this young destroyer? And more importantly, who's daring enough to survive? Are you backing Moses as the future king, or do you think anyone can stop him?